Welcome back. Puckett Fieldhouse. Men's action on the way now after the women's game that just ended a few minutes ago with the Central Methodist Lady Eagles defeating the Clarke Lady Pride 89-74. We're getting ready for men's action now as the 11-6 and 7-4 in the Hart Clarke Pride take on the Central Methodist Eagles, 6-12 overall, 5-7 in the Hart, but have played a couple of really good ball games in a row. They played a really tough game against the number 3 team in the nation, William Penn, and lost that one by 6 after being ahead most of that ball game. And then they go out and beat Baker. They beat Benedictine here. So a couple of games well played for the Eagles. They're starting to find their identity a little bit. They face Clarke tonight, and Clarke has received votes in the poll. They're not in the top 25, but they have received votes to be in the top 25. So a tough challenge for the Eagles, and I look at Clarke's lineup, and they have a 6'5", 6'5", 6'8", 6'6", 6'8", 6'7". So they're loaded with lots of size. Eagles on the other hand can go 6'5", 6'7", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'11". So little 6 of one, half dozen of the other. We'll see how Coach Sherman and his group do against Coach Jim Blaine in his 6th season at Clarke. Clarke's first year in the conference, so I'm going to guess this is their first trip to Puckett Fieldhouse to play. As we get ready to go, we got a little over 2 minutes to go before the prayer national anthem and introduction of the starting lineups. They don't have the lineups up on the board yet, so we're just kind of waiting for that to happen. See if we can give you on Saturday, get ready for Saturday the 25th when I know it's on here somewhere. I just got to look for it. Central Methodist will host Grandview, and that's a big game on both sides. The Grandview women were tied with Central Methodist coming into tonight for overall record. On the other side, Grandview is near the bottom of the Hart on the men's side. But still 2 big ball games. Coach Davis's women had a big game tonight that they won. They got another one on Saturday, and then they followed that up with another game that has implications as well because they'll be playing, let's see if I can find where we are. They'll be playing Missouri Valley next Thursday. But regardless, we're here tonight, Clarke Pride on the court against the Central Methodist Eagles, and we're waiting for the last of it. We're down under a minute to go. Both sides exiting the floor and getting ready for the prayer before game, and then the national anthem, and then the introduction of the starting players on both sides. We don't have the starters for Clarke yet, but we kind of know who the Central starters have been as to whether or not they're going to be the starters who come out and start this ball game. We will see in just a minute as soon as they do the start the prayer and all. We'll put the headset down, try and pick up the PA system and all. So they're getting ready. They're doing the sportsmanship announcement, the public service announcement about sportsmanship right now. So we'll take our headset off, aim it down toward the court, and hope that you can pick up a little bit of the national anthem and all, and then we'll be back with the introduction of the starting players in just a couple of moments.
Almighty God, you have created us to strive for our best. Grant to all athletes, coaches, and fans the strength to pursue excellence during this event. We pray for the safety of these athletes, protect them from injury and harm. Help us to honor you today in all we do on and off the court, and make us witnesses to your glory. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
right, getting set for the introduction of the starting lineups. Again, Clarke comes in with a record of 11-6 and 7-4 in the Heart. And that is 7-4 is good enough to get them in. Number one, their starting lineup, 6'5" sophomore from Greenwith, Australia, Nick Marshall. Number 11, a 6'2" senior guard from Tama, Iowa, Darius Lastly. A 6'1" sophomore guard from Peosta, Iowa, Jordan Lake. A 6'8" junior center, South Wayne, Wisconsin, Josh Meyer, number 22. And number 23, Keith Johnson, a 6'4" sophomore guard from Dubuque, Iowa. For the Eagles, their starting lineup goes like this. A 6'4" sophomore from Kansas City, Isaiah Burton. A 6'1" senior guard from Kansas City, Missouri, number 5, James Bird II. A 6'2" senior guard from Normal, Illinois, number 10, Josh Robinson. A 6'6" senior forward from Peru, Illinois, number 24, Christian Soderholm. And a 6'11" junior from Magaliesburg, South Africa, Rain Hartman, number 34. So there are the starting lineups as we get set to go. Officials have been introduced. They're out ready to go. Clarke in a white uniform tonight for some reason. Because normally the white uniform is the home team and the colored uniform is the road team, but maybe Central just wanted to show off their green uniforms to the home folks here. As we get set for action, looks like it will be Josh Meyer, 6'8" junior, to jump against Rain Hartman, a 6'11" junior. I look to see, Clarke is second in the Heart of America Conference. They say they're 8-4 in the conference, 12-6 overall. They are 3 games behind William Penn, tied with Mid-American Nazarene, Benedictine, and Peru State for that second spot. Tip goes to the Eagles, and Robinson has it across half court. Soderholm. Burton, Bird into the corner, Soderholm, back out to Robinson. Man defense by Clarke. Quick roll down the middle, but it's going to go off a set of hands, and it will stay with Central, and they have 10 on the shot clock. That's one of their favorite plays, a little pick and roll with Hartman going, setting the screen, and then heading down. They're trying to put something 11 seconds on the shot clock is what they're trying to do. Hartman, Burton, across the top of the key. Bird in the corner. Inside to try to get it to Hartman, but it's off his hands and into the hands of Clarke. And this is Jordan Lake with the basketball. Man defense by the Eagles. Nick Marshall. Johnson cutting to the basket. Nowhere to go. That was Marshall. Back out to Johnson. This is Jordan Lake. Pulls up for a 3 from straight away and buries it. Robinson tries to get it inside. Bird, Burton. Hartman, Soderholm off a big game the other night. Bird down the lane, lays it up and in. 3-2. In favor of Clarke. Lake brings it down. He drained the three-pointer the last time down the floor. He's got it against Bird. This is Lastly, their leading scorer. But they have balanced scoring all the way around. Hartman knocks it away. Burton tries to save it, but steps on the end line. It'll be Marshall to bring the ball in. He's a 6'5" sophomore. To talking about whether Central had possession and a shot clock should reset or not. Does not. Lake with the basketball now. Into the corner it goes to Marshall, to the basket. Ends up traveling as he drags his pivot foot a little bit, and it's a turnover to the Eagles. Soderholm to Robinson. Bird. Robinson turns the corner, lays it up left-handed, can't get it to go. Hartman with it, tries to get it over, and a shot blocked. As Burton tried to put it up, but he got a shot blocked. Pass too low as Lake tries to pass it underneath to Meyer, but it's down around his ankles and goes out of bounds. And Robinson will bring the ball up the court. Burton looks for the lob, not there. Bird, three-pointer on the way, rims out no good. Lake with a rebound. Easy numbers for me to see from up here. As Johnson went up to dunk it, got his shot blocked by Hartman, but Johnson gets it back, lays it up and in, and it's 5-2 in favor of the guests from Clarke. Soderholm. Burton turns the corner, tries to get it in the corner, but Lake deflects the ball. Kicks it out here. Marshall's got a three lined up on the way, no good. Robinson with a rebound. Soderholm top of the key to Burton. Bird around the screen, takes it down the lane, kicks it out to the corner. Soderholm three on the way and good. Christian Soderholm ties it up at 5, 16:43 to go. Just underway from Puckett Fieldhouse in snowy Fayette, Missouri. Marshall. Lastly, Johnson with the ball. Burton against him. Little bump by Johnson. Puts up a three, step back three, and hits it. Keith Johnson averages 14.3. He's got 5 so far. 8-5 ball game. Burton looks inside, can't find Hartman, swings it around. Hartman. Bird. Pick. Soderholm, another three from further out this time. Back of the rim, no good. Lastly with a rebound. Lake to the hoop. Going to be fouled on the way there. We'll see if it goes on Bird or whether it goes on Hartman. It goes on Bird the second, his first personal foul. Jordan Lake. 6'1" sophomore from Peosta, Iowa. Free throw is good. He's got 4 points in the ball game. Kyle McDermott checks in. Burton checks out. Second free throw, also good. 10-5 in favor of Clarke. Just 4 minutes into the ball game. McDermott, Bird, Robinson, Soderholm. Everybody's touched it but Hartman now. Bird tries to find his way down the lane. Little runner won't go. Hartman had the rebound, knocked out of his hands, but ends up in Bird's hands. McDermott just into the ball game, tries a three, can't get it to go. Soderholm saves it from going out of bounds, throws it off the leg of Marshall, and it will stay with Central. Bird beyond the three-point line. Down the lane, Hartman lays it up and in on a nice pass from Bird. As Bird took the baseline and dished it off to Hartman, and he put up a little three-footer that rolled in. 10-7 in favor of Clarke. Johnson cuts, nowhere to go there. Meyer had it. This is Lake off of the pick. Marshall back to Lake. Inside to Meyer. Spins left, puts it up, can't get it to go. And Hartman with a rebound. And here comes Robinson with the basketball, just under 15 to go. Bird, McDermott, Hartman, Soderholm, back to Bird, all alone. 3 lined up in the air, halfway down and rattles out. And comes out to Meyer for the rebound. Lake, Marshall, Johnson with a long 3, hits it. He's got 8 already in the ball game, a couple of 3s and a 2. And it's 13-7 in favor of Clarke. Getting ready to check in. Nice lob to Hartman, but he misses the shot. But going to be called for a foul. Going to be called as Dylan Curie gets ready to come in. He's sitting at the scorer's table. Rain Hartman to go to the free throw line. Darius Lastly with the foul, a 6'2" senior out of Tama, Iowa. Hartman at the line. First one swishes through, which is a good thing for Rain Hartman because he's a 45% free throw shooter on the season. He's got 3 in the game. It's a 5-point advantage. Second free throw. Rims out no good. And Curie with a rebound. To Lake. Gabe Shields also into the ball game for Clarke. And there's a foul. And they'll get to choose between Hartman and McDermott. McDermott gets the foul, his first personal foul. Team foul number 2. And this will be Shields to get it in, a 6-foot sophomore guard from Tama, Iowa, so 2 players from the same town. Johnson has the ball slapped out of his hands. Lake, inside it goes to Curie, left hand underneath, reverse layup good. Dylan Curry with his first. Seth Stegman into the ball game for the Eagles. McDermott, another 3, partially blocked. And out comes Marshall with the ball. Down the lane, loses the handle on it. Bird the other way. 2 on 3. Bird tries to step through, and he'll be called for an offensive foul. That'll be foul number 2 on James Bird the second. Burton checks back in. Bird checks out and into the ball game for Clarke. Levici Williams and a timeout called by Clarke. So we'll take a quick 30-second break and be back right after this word here on the Eagles Sports Network.
Rick Ball Ford Lincoln, my team is driven to be different. Different in a great way because we're going to give you the very best customer satisfaction anywhere. One of the parts about our dealership you will love is our 1995 oil changes. You get a free alignment check, you get a free multi-point inspection, you get a free car wash. Everybody will get all of that combined for $19.95. Stop by today or come visit us at rickball.com.
15-8, 13-17 to go. Clarke with the advantage. They've had the lead from the outset. And it'll be Clarke basketball underneath the central basket, so they'll have to come the length of the floor. That's Shields that gets it into Lake. And Jordan Lake's going to bring it up. Marshall. Looks inside Williams, not available. Marshall again on the other side, stops, pulls up, jumper on the way, no good, tipped around, and ends up in Robinson's hands for the Eagles, and he brings it up the court. McDermott tracks down the pass. Robinson with it one more time. Burton. Stegman. Burton wants to go baseline, tries to get it inside to Soderholm. Nice pass and a basket off the glass by Christian Soderholm. 5 points for Soderholm. Three-pointer in the air, no good. Williams with a push-off, got away with it. Johnson with a 3, can't get it to go, and Robinson with the rebound. Burton was down the floor, but Robinson pushes the issue and can't get it to go, and Levici Williams with a rebound. Lake on the run, Marshall on the left wing. spin move to the basket, reverse pivot, bank shot, up and good. 17-10. Just under 12 to go here in the first half. Burton back into the corner. Stegman with a three-pointer on the way. Rims out no good. And Marshall with a long rebound. Marshall right down the lane. Puts up a little right-hand half hook, and it gets it to roll in. And it's 19-10, biggest lead of the ball game. That's going to get Trey Meany off the bench for the Eagles. He'll be in at the next dead ball. Burton to the hoop, lays it up and in as he took it to right at Williams. Burton, his first 2 points of the ball game. Lake around the corner, left hand puts it up, no good. Williams with a rebound, put back up and in. Levici Williams with the putback. Soderholm says he pushed me in the back out of the way, but no call from the official. 21-12, Stegman. Burton, back to Stegman in the corner, can't go. Burton. In the corner, Robinson. Got a three, gonna go ahead and take it. Comes up short. And with a rebound is Shields. Gives it to Johnson, up ahead to Lake. Across half court. Marshall, left wing, drives on Stegman, puts up a little runner in the lane, can't get it to go. Soderholm with a rebound. Robinson going to slow it down now and run offense. Burton with it, gets a pick from Soderholm. Behind his back, in the lane. Marshall with a slap at it and a late whistle. As Marshall, normally when you slap at it like that, one of the officials is going to call a foul, and one of them did call a foul.
Foul on number 1,
Nick Marshall. First foul on him, second team foul, and Isaiah Burton to the free throw line to shoot a pair, 78.6% free throw shooter. Front of the rim, no good.
Checking into the game, number 5.
Xavier Johnson checks in along Darius Lashley checks back in. Trey Meany into the ball game. Meany is 6'5" sophomore from Columbia, Missouri. Second free throw is good, 21-13. And this is Lashley bringing the ball up the court. He's their leading scorer, and he has not scored yet in the ball game. Shields, inside it goes to Williams. Quick move to the basket, misses the shot. Soderholm with a rebound. Up ahead to McDermott. He takes it to the hoop, lays it up, can't get it to go. Tipped out by Xavier Johnson. And Lashley has it into the corner to Shields. To Williams off of the pick. Soderholm on him. Williams spin move right to the basket, lays it up and in. Little bank shot, Levici Williams. Averages 3.3. Burton looks inside. Nowhere to go. McDermott. Robinson. Burton beyond the three-point line. Squares it up and drains the three. 23-16. 9 minutes to go here in the first half of play. Lastly in the corner to Shields. Takes it to the hoop. Fires it back out to Xavier Johnson. Into the corner. That's Williams with a shot, can't get it to go, and rising up and putting it back in is 23, Keith Johnson. And that makes it 25-16, timeout Central Methodist. We're going to take a 30-second break with the score 25-16, 8:45 to go here on the Eagles Sports Network.
How do you make traditional education more effective for today's job market? You transform it at Central Methodist University. Now the only limit to your education is your imagination. The new Digital U, available only on the campus of CMU. Be more.
8:45 to go, 25-16 in favor of Clarke. Clarke on the season averages 84.3 points per ball game, gives up 77, so they win close ball games. The Eagles, on the other hand, average 74.7 per ball game and give up 78.3. So Clarke a little more firepower than Central. Clarke has 5 players that average double figures. Burton, Robinson, Bird back on the floor. Hartman back on, and McDermott for the Eagles. It's Marshall, Williams, Lake, Johnson, and Shields. This is Hartman trying to figure out. Little jump hook, rolls around and goes. That's one of his favorite shots, Rain Hartman. He's got 5 in the ball game, and it's back to 7-point lead for Clarke. This is Lastly. Shields. Back to Lastly. He wants to take a shot. He's not scored yet. Xavier Johnson, ball stolen by Bird. He's going to take it to the hoop, puts it up off the glass and good. Lastly challenged him a little bit, but didn't challenge too much. And it's 25-20, and the Eagles are back within 5. There's a lob pass inside. Burton deflected it, and it ends up in Hartman's hands, and here comes Bird with the basketball. Back to Burton. Over to Robinson. He looks at the defense. Man by Clarke. He's going to attack Shields into the corner. McDermott steps around for a 3. In the air, no good. And that's Johnson with a rebound. That would be Keith Johnson with a rebound. Lastly, Johnson got a couple of 3s already and going to put another one right in the bucket, as he has not missed anything from out there yet. 3 3s in the ball game. Bird double teamed to the hoop. Robinson going to cut down, puts it up left-handed, comes up short. Meyer with the rebound. Xavier Johnson in the corner, takes it baseline, puts it up and in against Hartman. That was easy. 30-20, and now it's a 10-point advantage. It was 5 just a few seconds ago. Now it's up to 10. 6:45 to go. Robinson in the corner to Bird. Looks inside. Hartman not available. This is Burton. Pulls up jumper on the way. Rims out no good. And that's Lastly with a rebound, and he's got the ball, bringing it up. 6'2" senior guard. Johnson finally misses a 3-pointer, but Meyer with the rebound. Puts it up, gets it to go. Fouled. Bucket counts, and that will go against Hartman, and that'll be his first personal foul. Josh Meyer, 6'8" junior, South Wayne, Wisconsin. And we've got another timeout called. And we'll see what is going on with this. We'll just keep it here and talk for a few minutes while this timeout goes on. 32-20. 13 points already for Keith Johnson. He in the ball game. 3 for 5 from the floor, 2 for 3 from three-point land. And they've got more than, they've got him for 13 on the scoreboard. I'm looking at the stats. They only show him with 8 points altogether, but I think it must be somewhat delayed. So we'll go by the scoreboard. He's got 13. The lead is out to 12, biggest lead for Clarke in the ball game. It is a snowy night in Fayette, Missouri. Will make my travel home a little more treacherous, and that of Clarke as well. Hopefully they have a safe trip back up into Iowa to get home. Looking to see who checked in. Lake looks like he's back in. Marshall's back in. Stegman back in, and Branham into the ball game for the Eagles. Jake Branham. Free throw rattles around, no good. Hartman with a rebound. Bird gets pressure. Branham from the corner hits a three. 32-23. Lake over into the corner. That's Xavier Johnson. Back out top of the key to Lake. Lastly with a three, his first attempt of the ball game. Can't get it to go. Xavier Johnson with a rebound. Foul on the floor, and I think that's going to go against Seth Stegman.
Foul is on number 15, Seth Stegman. His first.
Stegman's first personal foul. Now the stats are updated. Lake gets it into Meyer in the left corner. To Marshall, left side of the lane. He's going to drive down the lane. McDermott challenges him. Can't get it to go, and it ends up in Hartman's hands. And there's a kick. It'll stay with the Eagles. Hartman with 4 rebounds already.
Checking into the game for the Eagles, number 20, Noah Patrick.
Noah Patrick checks into the ball game.
Also checking in 24.
Christian Soderholm comes back. McDermott out. Stegman out. Patrick into the ball game is a 6'2" freshman from Columbia, Missouri. Pass comes in, almost stolen. Patrick saves it. Bird with a 3 on the way and good. James Bird the second. 7 points for him, and the lead 6 for Clarke. With just over 5 to go. Xavier Johnson, baseline, nowhere to go. Gets it back out to Lake. Xavier Johnson in the corner, has the ball stolen by Bird. 2-on-2. Bird to the corner. Patrick with a 3 on the way. Halfway down, rattles out. And lastly with it, he wants to take it to the hoop. He runs over, but a foul going to be called, I believe, on Patrick on the floor. And they're pointing at the restricted circle. That's why the foul was called. Could have been a charge if it had been out a little bit further, but that's Patrick's first foul. Keith Johnson and Dylan Curie back in. Foul stolen by Branham on the inbounds pass, and he gets it over to Bird the second. 4:37 to go. Pretty fast-moving first half of basketball. Bird to the basket, gets a shot blocked by Marshall from behind. Little extra play there between Bird and Marshall. Bird can't afford to pick up a technical. He's already got 2 fouls on the board. Branham to get it in. Patrick in the corner. Bird. Jumper on the way. Nothing but net. 3-pointer. He's got 10 of the 29, and it's back to a 3-point advantage. Lastly, looks for somewhere. That's Johnson, has his pass tipped. It ends up in Curie's hands. He puts it up, in, score, and he's fouled. As Keith Johnson made a nice pass over to Dylan Curie.
Dylan Curry, he'll step the line shooting 1. Foul is on number 3, Jake Branham.
Branham with his first personal foul. Curie at the line to shoot 1. Back of the rim, but a soft touch. Curls its way in. 34-29. Bird has it knocked out from behind by Lastly. Eagle basketball, midcourt. Into Soderholm. Back to Bird, second. Going to dribble top of the key, reset. It's a 1-4, and he's going to take it to the hoop. Gives it off to Hartman. Back to Bird. Bird down the lane, tries to find room. Soderholm, corner 3 on the way, no good. Tipped around. And Hartman wins the battle. And he's going to be fouled on the way to the hoop. But not nearly enough fouls to go to the free throw line. That's only the 3rd team foul against Clarke. The Pride already in the bonus. They'll be shooting bonus free throws for the remaining 3:42 of this half. Hartman, Soderholm, Branham with the ball now. Bird tries to go baseline, looks for somebody, finds Soderholm. 3 in the air on the way, no good. And down with a rebound is Marshall. He moves ahead, finds Lastly, who had a shot, gives up to Lake for a 3, and he hit the first one of the ball game, and he hits another one. Jordan Lake, 8 points in the ball game. Back to a 9-point advantage. Bird backs up, puts a 3 up, doesn't draw anything. And Lake with a rebound out on the run. Lastly, right side. Backs up, puts a 3 in the air, rattles around, no good. Hartman with another rebound. That'll be number 7 for him rebound-wise. Branham gets it across and a timeout by the Eagles. We'll take a quick break. 2:45 to go here in the first half. 38-29. We'll be back in 30 seconds here on the Eagle Sports Network.
How do you make traditional education more effective for today's job market? You transform it at Central Methodist University. Now the only limit to your education is your imagination. The new Digital U, available only on the campus of CMU. Be more.
Puckett Fieldhouse, Central Methodist University, Fayette, Missouri, Heart of America Conference action. Clarke Pride with a 38-29 lead over the Central Methodist University Eagles. And I've been trying really hard not to say Central Methodist College. For most of you just tuning in, don't understand what that means. I graduated from this fine institution when it was CMC, not CMU, so I have a hard time saying university because I've always said college before. But the Eagles have the ball. Patrick with it. Bird. Burton wants to go down the lane. Tries to get it inside, but the pass is too low and too hard for Hartman. Marshall had it, tipped away from him, bands up back in Lake's hands. Marshall in the corner, drives, wants to pull up. Lake's got another 3 lined up, misses that one. And a foul on the rebound, and I think that's going to go against Dylan Curie. His second personal foul. Team foul number 4. Coach Blaine says he didn't do anything, went straight up. The referee begs to differ. Burton on the right wing. That's Hartman a long way away from the basket. Bird with it now, tries to get it back inside, and you can't bounce past the ball to a 6'11" kid very easily in traffic, and the ball's taken away. Marshall going to drive to the basket, and we'll have a foul called, and it looks like Robinson got the worst of that as he may have gotten hit around the throat area. Burton with the foul, his first personal foul, and that will send Nick Marshall to the free throw line. Marshall with 4 points. 70.6% free throw shooter. First one is good. Jake Branham checks back in, and we'll see who leaves. It looks like James Bird II will go out. .151 to go, 10-point advantage. Free throw no good. Patrick with a rebound. Wearing some face protection, probably broken nose. Burton. Branham on the left wing. That's Patrick at the top. Robinson going to get a pick from Hartman. Burton back to Robinson into the corner. Patrick with a 3 on the way. No good, but a foul is going to be called. And Noah Patrick's going to go to the free throw line and shoot 3. Patrick on the season, a 63.6% shooter as Shields gets ready to check back in after the second free throw. It's team foul number 5, as that one is against Lastly, his second foul. Patrick's first free throw good. Patrick averaging just over 3 points a ball game. Second free throw, also good. And here comes Shields in, and lastly goes to the bench. 8-point advantage. One more free throw for Patrick. Makes all three, which is pretty tough to do. Lake with the ball. Clarke with a 7-point advantage. Marshall, right wing, drives in behind his back to the baseline. He travels as he takes an extra little hop in there. He tried to get the ball inside to a big underneath and travels with it. Burton comes back to take it, get it inbounds to Robinson. Josh Robinson up the court. He's got 2 points in the ball game. Patrick, another three on the way. That one's short. Branham tips it over to Robinson, and the Eagles continue to have possession of the basketball. Branham in the corner, baseline, kicks it back out. Patrick with another three from there, and he hits it. Noah Patrick with a three. Patrick was 6 off the bench, down to 4. 9 seconds difference between game clock and shot clock. Lake into the corner to Shields. Back to Lake. Marshall pushes off and gets called for it this time. He gets caught pushing with his offhand, and that is his second personal foul, and he'll go to the bench, and Xavier Johnson will check back in.
That is his second. Checking into game number 5, Xavier Johnson.
Xavier Johnson back in. Haven't seen much out of Keith Johnson. He's on the floor. He had a string of points early. He had 13 points. He had 8 points right away. He's got 13 total as we're down to the last 17 seconds of this first half. Eagles looking to get the last shot, try to get within 2 or 1 before halftime. Robinson. All the way over to Branham, but it's thrown out of bounds, and with 4.2 to go, a turnover by the Eagles. And the Eagles are going to put some pressure on and make them use some clock. Lake across half court. Three-pointer on the way by Curie, no good, and that will end the first half.
Clarke University 39, Central Methodist 35.
So 39-35 is our halftime score. I know that we've got some halftime festivities, so we'll see how quickly they line all of this stuff up, because halftime of the men's game, they're going to recognize all of their champions, including a cross-country performer. And then women's volleyball and women's soccer. And finally, the men's soccer team that got their rings and all the first time around. So we'll just keep it here. We'll run our ads and everything after this segment is finished. So we'll go to the PA announcer and see what we can pick up for you.
Of the men's cross-country program. He won the conference race with a time of 25 minutes and 41 seconds, crossing the finish line a full 7 seconds before the runner-up. He made his second consecutive appearance at the NAIA Cross-Country National Championship this season and finished in the top 100. Radovan Kimboy. Up next, we would like to recognize our women's volleyball program. This team upset number 11 ranked Grandview in a 5-set pull to secure the second out-conference tournament championship title in program history. They finished the season ranked 10th in the NAIA with an overall record of 33-4, while making the program's first appearance in the round of 16 at the national tournament. The team had 7 all-conference players, a conference freshman of the year, the Hart Coach of the Year, and Jordan Wolf was recognized as an NAIA All-American. Now we would like to bring out our women's soccer team. Women's soccer had a record-breaking year that included a Hart regular season title. After an undefeated run through the conference opponents, the program's first ever Hart postseason tournament title and the program's first ever appearance at the final site of the national tournament. Women's soccer placed 8 members on the all-conference list while collecting the conference player of the year, offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, freshman of the year, and coach of the year. Adding to the list of accolades were Annika Kalish, Judith Sines, and Maria Lopez as NAIA All-Americans. The program finished the season with an overall record of 22-0-1 on the year and earned a number 8 ranking in the postseason coaches poll. Women's soccer. Our final team today is the men's soccer program. On top of their national champion title, the number 1 ranked team earned its second ever consecutive Hart regular season title and the program's first ever conference postseason tournament trophy with an undefeated run through Heart of America conference plays. Central placed 7 members on the all-conference team while nabbing the Hart Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year honors. Daniel Hernandez, Marcos Herman, Vince Galaire, and Alberto Pangrazi and Rodrigo Paredes were each recognized as NAIA All-Americans, and the coaching staff was recognized as the NAIA Natural Coaching Staff of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, these are your 2019 Heart of America Conference Champions.
So there you have those festivities. I am looking for my sheet that has the information about the Conference Commissioners Cup, which plays right into all of this. The Heart of America has a Commissioners Cup. It was developed as an award to annually recognize the achievements of conference student athletes and member institutions. The points are assigned on the basis of regular season, at the conclusion of regular seasons, and they're in the sports that are played by most, if not all, of the schools involved, which would be women's volleyball, men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, and softball, along with their next 3 highest point totals. So the Heart of America Commissioners Cup at the halfway mark at the end of first semester. The standings on that is as follows. Central Methodist is in first place based on all that you just saw with volleyball, soccer, women's soccer, men's soccer, cross country. Central Methodist has 35 total points, and they sit in first place in the Commissioners Cup standings. Second is Grandview with 26, Evangel third at 23 and a half, and Baker number 4 at 23 total points. So way to go CMU athletes, as the Commissioners Cup is in first place. I see President Roger Drake down front. He was part of the festivities at halftime of the women's game where they individually recognized the men's soccer team and for their national tournament championship, back-to-back national championships, and unveiled the national championship banner that now flies at Central Methodist University. We have stats up for you at halftime. We'll go over some of the numbers on that. Field goal percentages. Central Methodist 12 of 33 for 36%. Clarke 15 of 31 for 48%. 3 from the three-point line. Central 6 of 19 for 31.5%. Clarke 5 of 13 for 38.5%. Free throw percentage, Central 5 of 7 for 71%. Clarke 4 of 6 for 66.7%. Rebounds on the night, Central 17 rebounds, 6 of them offensive. Clarke 23 total rebounds, 7 offensive. Both sides with 8 assists. Central 5 steals and 5 steals for Clarke, so even there. The turnovers, Clarke has 10 turnovers to 7 for Central. And then other information off the scores here. Bench scoring, Clarke leads that 11-9. Points in the paint, Clarke 20-12 over Central. Second chance points, Central 8-6 over Clarke there. And points off turnover, 8-6 in favor of Central. Leading scorers in the ball game, that would be Keith Johnson for Clarke. He has 13. James Bird II has 10. Rebounding leaders, Nick Marshall has 4 for Clarke. Rain Hartman was 7 for the Eagles. Assists leader, both sides. Lastly has 3 for Clarke. And James Boyd, the Bird II, has 3 as well. So there's some of the numbers. Halftime scoring looks like this. James Bird II has 10 points. 6 points for Noah Patrick. 5 points for Rain Hartman. 5 points for Christian Soderholm. 4 points for Isaiah Burton. 3 for Jake Branham. And 2 for Josh Robinson. For Clarke, they are led by Keith Johnson with 13. And then Jordan Lake with 8. And their scoring gets really balanced after that. Dylan Curry with 5. Nick Marshall with 5. 4 points for Levici Williams. 2 points for Josh Meyer. And 2 points for Xavier Johnson. So that's where we're at right now. We're going to go ahead and take a break and get our sponsors some airtime as we go along here. When we come back, we'll get ready for the start of second half action here on the Eagles Sports Network.
At last, an approach to teaching and learning that connects the traditional classroom to the real world at Central Methodist University. Now you can learn the way you live and the way you'll work with the new Digital U, available only on the campus of CMU. Be more.
Here at Rick Ball Ford Lincoln, my team is driven to be different. Different in a great way because we're going to give you the very best customer satisfaction anywhere. One of the parts about our dealership you will love is our 1995 oil changes. You get a free alignment check, you get a free multi-point inspection, you get a free car wash. Everybody will get all of that combined for $19.95. Stop by today or come visit us at rickball.com.
When you buy a used car, how do you know that hasn't been in an accident? Experienced water damage or worse have major engine problems. This is Kyle Wymuth with WK. Here, all pre-owned vehicles less than 10 years old and under 100,000 miles come standard with peace of mind, wrapped up inside a 6-month, 6,000-mile powertrain warranty. And because we sell more vehicles than anyone in West Central Missouri, we get more quality trades, so we don't have to shop the used car auctions. For used car peace of mind, visit WK in Sedalia, Boonville, and at WKFamily.com.
How do you make traditional education more effective for today's job market? You transform it at Central Methodist University. Now the only limit to your education is your imagination. The new Digital U, available only on the campus of CMU. Be more.
0% for 72 months, plus generous cash savings on our most popular trucks and SUVs now at WK. Enjoy 0% for 72 months, plus cash back on Silverado and Sierra trucks, most Buick SUV models, and the Acadia Terrain and the all-new 2020 Equinox. Winter is here, and there's no better time to get behind the wheel of a powerful new four-wheel drive than now at WK in Sedalia, WK Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Boonville, and at WKFamily.com.
You were cutting up paper? What's that for?
Yeah, what was that all about?
That you guys have been arguing about how the dealership's going to be named in the future. So I just thought we'd cut up the names and put an equal amount in there and then have a drawing, and that's what the name will be.
Hey, Ryan and Ross, can you come look at this trade-in?
Rick Ball Auto Group.
All right, that's a
Hey,
they all say Rick Ball.
They're all Rick Ball Auto Group.
And don't forget, shop us online at rickball.com.
It's halftime, almost over, almost set for the second half of action. 39-35 in favor of Clarke University over the Central Methodist Eagles. As we're just about set, we'll get you the second half starters as soon as we see who comes out onto the floor. We know who ended up on the floor. But we're just about ready to go as the clock's running down to 30-some seconds. It looks like it will be Clarke basketball to start the second half of play. They stretched it out to double digits a couple of times in the first half. Eagles came back, closed it to a 4-point halftime deficit. And Clarke 12-6, 8-4 in the Heart. Central 6-12, 5-7 in the Heart. But a good ball game thus far. Women's game earlier went to Central Methodist, 89-74 over Clarke. Want to say thank you to our sponsors again, Central Methodist University, the Rick Ball Auto Group with showrooms in Boonville and Sedalia, and the WK family of car dealerships in Sedalia and also in Boonville, and we're back underway. It's Bird, Burton, Robinson, Soderholm, and Hartman, the starters on the floor. That's Johnson with another three, and he just continues to light that up. That's the way he started the ball game, and he's got 16 points now. It's Marshall, Lastly, Lake, Meyer, and Johnson on the floor. And that was Johnson, Keith Johnson, who made that basket. Soderholm inside looks for a spot. Bird, Robinson on the wing, inside to Hartman. Not in the spot that he likes on the floor. Wants to turn in. Can't get it to go. Gets his own rebound. Puts it up and in. Hartman with 7 now in the ball game. Go along with 7 rebounds. 8 rebounds after he missed his own shot and got a rebound on it. Meyer sets a pick for Lastly, who hasn't done anything much yet. Hartman bothers Meyer and gets the rebound off of the miss. James Bird, the second, takes it down the lane, banks it up and in over the top of Johnson. And it's down to a 3-point ball game. 12 points in the game for James Bird, the second. That's Lake. Around it goes to Meyer, lays it up and in on the pick and roll. Coach Sherman encouraging his players to pick up the energy level a little bit. Want to make sure we say hi to Coach Sherman's family out in Colorado. Soderholm, Bird, wants to go hoop. Johnson tries to get from him. Takes it at Meyer, banks it up and in does Bird. He's got 14 and it's back to a 3-point ball game. Blake, top of the key. Bird tries to pick up a foul on a pick. This is Marshall. Lake in the corner with Hartman on him, so a big mismatch inside, and this is a mismatch outside. And Lake takes it to the hoop, which is the wrong idea with that mismatch, and Hartman swats it out of there. Burton down the lane, gets his shot swatted out, and I think Lastly did that. And there's a foul, and Burton's going to pick up a push underneath as he came back in from out of bounds after his shot got blocked. Did a little forearm shiver to Marshall, who seems to be one of those players that gets under somebody's skin pretty easily. So Burton goes out with his second personal foul, and McDermott checks in for him. Lake with the ball. Lastly, inside to Johnson. Little fake, little baby hook pass. Didn't go anywhere, knocked away. Here comes Robinson down, lays it up and in left-handed. And that's a 1-point Clarke lead at 43-44. Clarke. Lake. And there was the pick and roll again, but Bird got his hand in there on that. He takes it to the hoop, puts it up, can't get it to go. Bodies end up all over the place. And there's a steal. Lastly loses it. Bird gets it back, puts it up, and he's going to pick up the foul on Marshall, which may have gotten away with one before that. And now Marshall picks up his third personal foul. And James Bird, the second, will go to the line.
That foul is his third into the game for Clarke, number 24. Gabe Shields,
We've got a timeout called by Clarke, but we'll probably keep it here. Oh, it's a full timeout. Let's go ahead and take a 30-second break, run a commercial.
Cutting up paper? What's that for?
Yeah, what was that all about?
That you guys have been arguing about how the dealership's going to be named in the future. So I just thought we'd cut up the names and put an equal amount in there and then have a drawing, and that's what the name will be.
Hey, Ryan and Ross, can you come look at this trade-in?
Rick Ball Auto Group.
All right, as it
Hey,
they all say Rick
Rick
Ball.
They're all Rick Ball Auto Group.
And don't forget, shop us online at Rick.
Dance team and cheerleaders out on the floor right now. (44-43), as close as Central has been in the ball game, as they only trail by 1. And I believe Central will be at the free throw line with a chance to tie or get the lead after the foul on Nick Marshall. And it will be James Bird the second at the line. He has 14 points in the ball game. And he's got 2 free throws. Can tie it. Does. And can give Central their first lead of the ball game. Because Lake hit a three-pointer to start the game, and Central's been behind ever since. Second free throw good, and there's the first lead at 45-44, 17:01 to go. Lastly, no points in the game, and he averages 17 a game, almost 18 a game. Pass inside. Nice give and go to Curie. He lays it up and in. Clarke back with the lead at 1. Soderholm. Bird to the corner. Robinson with a 3 on the way. Can't get it to go. And Johnson with a rebound. Ahead to Lashley on the fly. Darius Lashley. Marshall. Spin move in the lane. Tries to find somebody else. Too many passes. He tried to get it to Curie. Here comes Bird. 1-on-4. Doesn't matter. Lays it up and in. And the Eagles have the lead back at 47-46. Lastly, Johnson thought about a 3. Steps back. Still thinking about a 3. Nice hustle there by Shields as he lost the ball. Dove for it. Kept it in the front court, so no backcourt violation. Marshall to the hoop, puts it up, can't get it to go. It's tipped around, and it ends up back in Lashley's hands. Curie in the corner. Johnson, Lashley. Marshall, Johnson. Goes up, foul by McDermott, I believe, and that'll be 3 free throws for Keith Johnson. Second foul on McDermott, and it will be 3 free throws for Johnson. He is a 70% free throw shooter on the season. First one is good, knots it back up at 47. Couple of subs getting ready to come back in. Come into the ball game, 1 for each side after this free throw, which clangs around but falls. Burton back in, Lake back in. Marshall leaves, Soderholm leaves. 48-47 now the score in favor of Clarke. It's Keith Johnson. Hits all 3. Second time in this game we've seen 3 free throws hit. He's got 19 in the ball game now, and it's a 2-point advantage for Clarke. Burton back in after a little time on the bench. McDermott back to Burton. Tried to get it inside, but it's tipped away by Johnson. Lastly, Johnson with a jumper on the way, no good. And Bird the second with a rebound. Weaving his way through traffic, drops it off to Burton, but it goes off of him out of bounds.
Checking in the game for the Eagles, number 3, Jake
Branham
Branham.
in. Burton out. And we're going to have a substitute. Xavier Johnson going to come in as Gabe Shields is in some distress right now. Going to go see the central trainer real quick. Can't tell. Looks like something up around the face. May have gotten an elbow in the face. We're going to take care of him on the sideline, and we're back to action. This is Lake going to bring the ball up. 2-point lead, 15 to go. Xavier Johnson and Keith Johnson on the floor at the same time. That's Keith Johnson there. Lake with it. Crosses over on McDermott, puts it up, scores. Fouled, and it looks like McDermott, that'll be his third personal foul, if that is the case.
Basket is good by number 15, Jordan Lake. Foul on number 11, Kyle
Lake
McDermott.
with the basket.
His third at the line, Jordan Lake.
Third foul. Lake has got 10 points in the ball game, double figures for him. Makes the free throw.
Into the game for the Eagles.
Patrick, Noah Patrick returns. Kyle McDermott goes out with his 3 fouls. James Bird II going to bring it up. He's got 18 points. He's been most of the offense for a while for the Eagles. Burton, there's Bird, 3-pointer on the way. Good, 21 points for Bird now. Back to a 2-point advantage for Clarke. Lake gets it inside. Xavier Johnson, too easy against Branham. Takes the baseline, banks it in. 4 points for him in the ball game. Inside to Hartman. Wants to back in against Curie. Little jump hook that he likes. Doesn't go. Tipped up. Doesn't go. And Xavier Johnson with a rebound. And Lake on the run. Curie. Big man shoots a 3. No good. And Robinson with a rebound. To Branham. He wants to go baseline. Kicks it back out. Bird with another 3 straight away and another swish. 24 points. 1-point advantage for Clarke. Lake almost out of control. Lashley with a 3 on the way. No good. And Patrick with a rebound. Central can get a lead with 13:15 to go. Bird pulls up, has his shot blocked. And they're going to end up with a foul, I think, after that, and that's foul number 3 on James Bird II.
Foul on number 5, James Bird II. That foul is his third, team's fourth.
Jacob Moore checks into the ball game for the Eagles. A 6'4" junior out of Odessa. He checks in. Hartman gets a break. There's Lashley beyond the 3-point line. Takes it in the lane, gets stripped of it. Robinson ends up with it. Patrick may have got his hand on it. Robinson to the basket. Scores the hoop, and a foul called on Lake, a blocking foul. Score the basket. Eagles have the lead, and a free throw on the way by Robinson. Josh Robinson. He's got 6, getting ready to shoot for his 7th. That's Lake's first personal foul.
Into the game for Clarke, number 22, Josh Meyer.
Josh Meyer checks back in. Curie checks out. Robinson, a 75% free throw shooter, gets that one to crawl in. Marshall back in, and Xavier Johnson checks out. Lake going to bring it across half court. I don't think they gave the other point up on the board yet to Central. I think it's 56-54, but I could be wrong. It's happened. Shot inside, miss, and a late set of whistles on that. As it looks like, I think maybe Jacob Moore going to pick up a foul just into the ball game.
Foul is on the Eagles, 35. Jacob Moore, that foul is his first. Team's
First foul on Moore, 5th team foul. Only 2 against Clarke. First free throw back of the rim, no good for Meyer. And it is 56-54. There they put the point up on the board. Second free throw good. So Robinson will bring the ball up the court. Lake will wait for him to come across half court, pick him up. Robinson stops. He directs traffic. Gets Robinson there. Gets Patrick where he wants him. Josh Robinson takes it to the hoop. Left hand puts it up and in. 3-point advantage now for the Eagles, as that's the biggest lead they've had. Lake almost loses the ball, gets it off to Marshall. Patrick on him, and a foul out by the free throw line. That's team foul number 6. Second foul on Patrick. Next one will put Clarke in the bonus for the rest of the ball game. Lake to get it in. To Meyer. Back to Lake. Cut off by Branham. Keith Johnson. Step back 3 in the air. And it's good. I'm going to look and see. I know that's. He's been very good at that. He is 5 for 7 now from beyond the 3-point line. He's got 22 points in the ball game. And it's tied. Here goes Bird. Pull up jumper in the lane. Good. He's got 27 or 26 in the ball game. And we've got a whistle. Not sure what that's all about, as the one official at the scorer's table. It's 60-58 is what stats have. It's what we have. It's what the scoreboard has. Unless there's something about the clock maybe not running. Gabe Shields still over getting some attention from the training staff here at Central Methodist. We get a thumbs up to show that we're ready to go back. Score is 60-58, 11:36 to go. Lake across midcourt. Lastly, still no points on the board for him. Lake's got a couple of threes. Marshall tries to go to the lane, kicks it back out. Lastly steps inside the 3-point line and finally scores his first points of the ball game. Ties it up with 11:10 to go. Comes Josh Robinson now for the Eagles. Moore with a pick. Robinson to the basket, left-hand scoop, up and in. 11 points now for him. He's in double figures. And the lead's back to Central by 2. Lake down the lane, puts it up with his left hand and gets the roll to go over Moore. Hartman getting ready to come back in. There's too many easy baskets around the basket now, too close. So Hartman going to come in and try and guard the basket a little bit better. Robinson. Patrick 3 in the air from the corner, no good. Moore with a rebound. Gets it to Bird, thought about a 3. Decide to get it out to Robinson, who's going to back out and slow it down a little bit, run some more clock. 10 on the play clock, pulls up for a 3 straight away, no good. And lastly with a rebound. Marshall with a 3, comes up short. Patrick with a rebound, gives it to Bird. 2 on 3, Bird 1 on 3, still trying to find a way to get to the hoop. They've slowed him down a little bit. He's got 26 in the ball game. Round under the basket, back out. Branham into the corner to Robinson. He's going to go lane. He's left-handed. He's tripped on the way there, and they're going to call a foul rather than a travel. I think we've got a media timeout coming up. With the score at 62, 9:37 to go, we're going to take a 30-second break. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
0% for 72 months, plus generous cash savings on our most popular trucks and SUVs now at WK. Enjoy 0% for 72 months, plus cash back on Silverado and Sierra trucks, most Buick SUV models, and the Acadia Terrain and the all-new 2020 Equinox. Winter is here, and there's no better time to get behind the wheel of a powerful new four-wheel drive than now at WK in Sedalia, WK Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Boonville, and at WKFamily.com.
9:37 to go, second half action, tied at 62 in a well-played ball game thus far. Clarke has had a double-digit lead in the ball game. The biggest lead for the Eagles was 3 just a few moments ago as they battle back. The score at halftime was 39-35. Now tied at 62. 26 points for James Bird II. 22 points for Keith Johnson. They're the leading scorers in the ball game for their sides. Rebounding-wise, Rain Hartman's got 9. He's about to get double digits in rebounds. He's got 7 points in the ball game as well. Central was 17 points off of turnovers in the ball game. Turnovers 10 for Central, 15 for Clarke. It'll be Central basketball underneath their own basket. Hartman has it on the inbounds. Robinson, Bird tried to get a shot right away, could not do that. Branham back to Robinson, top of the key, 10 on the play on the shot clock. Bumped. Hartman underneath. Ball fakes. Curry out of the way. Lays it up and in. He's got 9 points and 9 rebounds, does Rain Hartman. Lake. Lastly, with Bird on him. Behind the back, down the lane, scoop over and up and in. Darius Lasley with the basket, his 4th point of the ball game. Still got a ways to go to get to his almost 18 average. Back to a tie game. Hartman with a pick. Robinson takes it to the hoop, can't get it to go. Marshall had it, still has it now, and gives it up to Lake. Lake, back from Marshall, down the lane, puts it up and in. Pretty much what he just did, but he's down on the floor holding on to an ankle. Jogging up the floor. Seems to be okay. Still kind of favoring that right side a little bit. And I can hear Coach Sherman over here saying timeout, timeout. So he's going to call one. 8:17 to go. Clarke with a 2-point advantage. We'll stay here and give you some more information. Timeout on the scoreboard. Timeouts. Clarke still has 5 timeouts left on their side. Central, it says 3 on the scoreboard, but I think that's probably going to change to 2, but could change, might not change. James Bird II, 10 of 17 from the floor, 4 of 8 from the three-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, and 26 total points. Keith Johnson on the other side, 7 of 11 from the floor, 5 of 7 from the three-point line, 3 for 3 from the free throw line, and 22 total points for him. Clarke out rebounding Central, 30-26. So we're just about set. That was a quick timeout, and it does. Central is down to 2 timeouts left on the scoreboard. We'll see who all comes back out on the court. It's Robinson, Burton, Branham, Patrick, and Hartman. Branham inbounds the ball back court to Robinson. That's Patrick. Burton with it now, looks inside. Robinson has Hartman flash, but can't get the ball to him. Branham, Patrick, right wing, top of the key to Burton. 5 on the shot clock, trying to find a way in, can't. Robinson, 3-pointer from straight away, rims out no good, tipped around. And Keith Johnson with the rebound. 7:50 to go. That's Keith Johnson. He ball fakes Patrick up, jumper from the free throw line, can't get it to go. Branham with the rebound. And the Eagles will bring it up and set up their offense. Here comes Robinson trying to go to the hoop. Patrick. Burton. Back to Josh Robinson. He's going to back out, slow down, wait for a pick. Gets it over into the corner to Branham. He comes around his man, goes to the basket, gets some contact, can't get it to fall. And Curry with the rebound. Curry. And that'll send him to the free throw line. Foul is on Burton. Isaiah Burton's third personal foul. Lake going to check back in. Shields goes out. Is glad to see him back on the court after having to leave for an injury. Curry at the line. First free throw good. He's got 8 in the ball game to lead up to 3. Quiet crowd right now. Second free throw also good. Eagles need a basket, 7:15 to go. 6-0 run for Clarke. Burton. Back to Robinson. Branham. Patrick. Little weave action out front. Robinson down the lane. Left-hand floater won't go. Had a shot at the rebound. Can't get it. Lake ahead to Lastly. Lays it up and in. Ahead of the pack. 8-0 run and a 6-point lead for Clarke. Looks like Bird getting ready to return as the next dead ball. Burton follows people cutting through the lane with their back to him, lays it up and in, scores, and he's fouled and go to the free throw line. He's got 6. Foul on 23. Keith Johnson, his first personal foul. Bird back in, Patrick out. As Burton tying his shoelaces. 1 free throw. Cuts the lead from 6 down to 3 in half. Johnson with the ball into Lake. 6:25 to go. Regulation. Each time I've been here, it's been overtime, so I'm not going to be surprised if it happens again tonight. Curry. Lake. Down the lane he goes. Kicks it out. Johnson. 3 on the way. He's been deadly from there. That one's way off. Hartman with his 10th rebound of the ball game. Branham going to bring it up as Robinson was being delayed by Lake. Now they get it to Robinson. 5:55 to go. Bird hasn't scored lately, but he's got 26 in the ball game. And a blocking foul on Marshall, and that will be foul number 4 on Nick Marshall.
Foul is on number 1, Nick Marshall. That is his 4th.
That's only team foul number 5, so no free throws there. 2 more fouls before the Eagles get to start shooting. Josh Robinson to bring the ball in, gets it to Burton. There's Bird inside to Hartman, little baby hook, round and good. He's got that little shot down pat. 11 points and 10 rebounds. He's got a double-double. Lead is 1 for Clarke. Marshall carrying the basketball, was going to pass it, and then continued to dribble, but too little too late. Josh Meyer back in. Curry goes out. Eagles with a chance to take the lead again. 5:24 to go. Burton, Branham, Bird, Robinson. Everybody's touched it but Hartman. If he gets inside, he'll touch it. Bird gets himself a little space, puts up a jumper, doesn't go, and there's Burton flying in for a rebound. Foul called on him. That's number 4.
Eagle foul number 1,
Isaiah Burton's 4th personal foul, and to the free throw line will go Nick Marshall. Marshall in the ball game with 5 points. 70.6% free throw shooter.
Number 1, Nick Marshall.
Try to stretch the lead out from 1. First free throw is good. He's 2 for 3 now from the free throw line for the night. Second free throw, also good. 3-point advantage for Clarke. 5-10 and counting. Bird down the lane, puts it up left-handed, can't get it to go, but a foul is going to be called. Keith Johnson had his hands up like I would just put my hands straight up. He gets the foul called against him.
Team 6th at the line for the Eagles, James Bird, the second.
Bird at the line where he is 2 for 2 on the night. Rattles and falls off to the side, no good. Second free throw. Rattles off the side just the same way. Burton with a foul, and he is fouled out of the ball game. Over the back on a rebound. He'll leave with 7.
Eagle foul on number 1, Isaiah Burton.
He leaves the ball game, and Kyle McDermott checks back in. McDermott has 3 fouls, I believe.
Stepping to the line for
He
Clarke,
does.
number 1, Nick Marshall.
Nick Marshall at the line again. Marshall 3 for 4. This is the last 1-and-1 from now on. After this one, with 5 minutes to go, Clarke will be in the double bonus shooting a pair. First one is good. Lead back to 4 now. 2-possession game. 5 minutes exactly to go. Second free throw. Also good. Josh Robinson brings it up. Eagles again need a basket, down 5. Just under 5 to go. McDermott, Branham, Bird, Robinson in the corner, gets it into Hartman. Backs in against Meyer, puts up the little right-hand jump hook, and it's good. 13 points, and it's a 3-point Clarke lead. Lake, down the lane. And puts it up left-handed and gets it to go. And a timeout called by Clarke as they've got a 5-point advantage. It's a full timeout, so we'll take a quick break, 30-second break here on the Eagles Sports Network.
At last, an approach to teaching and learning that connects the traditional classroom to the real world at Central Methodist University. Now you can learn the way you live and the way you'll work with the new Digital U, available only on the campus of CMU. Be more.
You're enjoying the dance team and the cheerleaders here at Puckett Fieldhouse. 4:29 to go, 76-71 in favor of Clarke. I'll remind you that on Saturday, the Eagles are back here at Puckett Fieldhouse to take on Grandview. On the men's side, that is Alumni Day, as a bunch of the alumni former basketball players will be coming back and having a get-together after the men's game. But that is a 2 o'clock women's game, followed by a 4 o'clock men's game. Lashley steals the ball from Patrick. Now Lake, 5-point advantage. Gets a pick to Johnson. Very proficient outside the line. Marshall. Lake looks inside, pulls it back out. Now a switch. Patrick over to Marshall. Bird down the lane, and Lake beats him to the hoop. And it is a 7-point advantage. Eagles are approaching their average on the season for points scored. That one rattles around 3 times and doesn't fall for Bird. 78 points, and they average 84 does Clarke. Lastly, 6 points for him. He goes to the hoop, puts it up too hard, tipped around, ends up in Bird's hands. He wants to run. Now he's double teamed and cornered there. He gets it to McDermott. Back to Bird. Robinson down the lane to Hartman. He wants to back in and go right-hand hook. Jump hook, does, and scores. 15 points for Rain Hartman. That shot has progressed as the year has come along into a pretty good weapon from about 5 feet in. Lake, 5-point lead. Johnson. Lastly, Marshall. Lake going to take it to the hoop, going to challenge Hartman. Hartman gets a piece of it and gets the rebound. Lake look for a foul. Robinson to the hoop, lays it up and in. Meyer a little late, slaps the backboard, but too little too late. And it's a 3-point advantage with 2:24 to go. Johnson, Keith Johnson. There are 2 Johnsons, only one on the floor right now. Lastly, that's Curry. They'll be glad for him to take a 3 from there, but he's pulling Hartman away from the basket. There's a jumper on the way, no good. Robinson with a rebound. Steps through, puts it up and in. 1-point game with 1:50 to go. Lastly, with Patrick on him now on the switch, gets a pick top of the key. Outside Marshall, thought about a 3, wants to drive to the lane. Still in drive mode. Into the corner it goes. 3 on the way, no good by Curry. And the Eagles with a chance to get the lead again with 1:23 to go. Robinson takes a deep breath, slows it down to Bird. Hasn't scored in a while. Spin move to the basket, tries to get a shot off. Gets blocked. Marshall comes out with it. This is Lastly. Underneath it goes to Johnson, and he has his dunk blocked by Hartman. Pass comes back in. Hartman misses the chippy, but he's going to be fouled. Clarke bench wants a goaltending call on a blocked dunk. Not going to get it on that. Darius Lastly with the foul, his 3rd. Hartman at the line. Everybody shooting bonus from now on. On the next foul, Clarke will shoot 2 from now on. The Eagles now just get into the 1-and-1, but Hartman's at the line to shoot a pair. Timeout, we'll keep it here and recap some of what you have seen so far and what we might see in the last 55.6 seconds. It was 39-35 at the half in favor of Clarke. As Lake made a 3 to start the ball game, and they've had the lead pretty much the entire game. Central's had the lead twice in the game, and they have a chance now to tie it and take the lead on 2 free throws by Hartman. Hartman has 15 points in the ball game. He also has 12 rebounds and a couple of blocks to go along with that as well. Hartman at the line, 1 for 2 in this game. That's about what he averages. He's a 44% free throw shooter. He's got a pair here. See if he can tie it. Back of the rim, no good. Kyle McDermott in the ball game for the Eagles. Has not scored, and he averages 12 points a ball game. Second one, no good as well. And Lastly with a rebound. 50 on the game shot clock, 25 on the shot clock. Lastly, inside it goes to Meyer, puts it up and gets it to go. And a timeout called by Clarke. 3-point lead, 39 seconds to go. We'll go ahead and keep it here. Our sponsors again, Rick Ball Auto Group with car dealerships in Boonville and Sedalia. And the WK family, WKFamily.com for looking for those, rickball.com on the other side. WK has dealerships in Sedalia and also in Boonville, and they're both online. Both great dealerships, really nice guys helping to sponsor all of this. Ryan and Ross Ball, the Rick Ball dealership guys, and Kelsey and Kyle Wymuth over at the WK dealerships do that, along with Central Methodist. We'll be back here Saturday for a 2 o'clock women's game with Grandview. Those are the top 2 teams in the Hart Conference coming into tonight's game. So that is big ramifications on the standings in the Hart. And that's a 2 o'clock game here in Fayette. We'll be on the air about 1:55 for that ball game, and then the men's game will follow 20 minutes later around 4 o'clock, give or take a little bit. And then I am going from those ball games over to Boonville and jump in for a broadcast over there as they are having an autism fundraiser over there. It's called Superfin Foundation for autistic children. So they're having a what's called a guns and hoses game, which will be law enforcement officers in Cooper County and fire department and fire people from Cooper County on the hoses side. So it's the 3rd annual. They raised a little over $10,000 last year, looking to up that number again this year. Bird down the lane to the corner. Soderholm back in the ball game, tries a 3, can't get it to go, gets his own rebound. McDermott, 30 seconds. Patrick can't get it to go, and a foul, offensive foul on Noah Patrick. As back into the ball game is Lavici Williams, and he takes the charge. Third foul on Patrick. Checking back into the ball game is Curry. 25.3 and a 3-point disadvantage for the Eagles. Marshall's got it, and McDermott fouls him in the background, fouled him a little bit, and then grabbed his shirt and looked at the official like, I'm really trying to foul him. 4th foul on Kyle McDermott. And Marshall goes to the line. Marshall in the ball game, 5 for 6 from the free throw line, so I'm not sure how good an idea that was. Looking to see, the only one, Meyer, is 1 for 3. Everybody else is pretty much perfect. First one is good. 2-possession game with 22 seconds to go. Williams back in. And a timeout, Central Methodist. It's a full timeout. We'll keep it here. Our sponsors have gotten plenty of air time tonight. We appreciate that. Again, Saturday here in Fayette, 2 o'clock ball game. CMU women versus Grandview coming into the game tonight. Each team was 10-2 in the conference. Central won their game, so they're 11-2 in conference play. So regardless, it'll be a battle for first place. The Lady Eagles defeated Grandview earlier in the season at Grandview, but that doesn't mean anything right now. So the dance team back out, cheerleaders. Referees huddled to talk about the last 22 and a half seconds of this. It's a 4-point advantage. Central has 1 timeout left. Clarke has 2 remaining. As we come to the conclusion of this ball game, it's been my pleasure to bring this to you tonight. This is my 3rd set of ball games for the Eagles. I want to thank Shelby Scott and Natasha Wilson, the SID and AD. They have different titles in that, but that's what I know them as here at Central Methodist. Appreciate them bringing us on board and letting me help bring the ball games to you. As an alumnus of this fine institution, it's my pleasure to do that. Marshall at the free throw line, 1 free throw left. And it crawls around no good, so it's 4 points with 20 seconds to go. Robinson on the run. Down the lane to Patrick, lays it up and in. That's really what they needed to get within, make it a 1-possession game. Marshall, or this is Lastly fouled over in the corner. 81-79. They haven't got the points up on the board yet. Kyle McDermott fouls out, his 5th personal foul. He's the 2nd Eagle to foul out. Burton fouled out to start things a little while ago as Coach Sherman looks around for who he wants to put in the game. He's milking his 20 seconds for all he can. Talks to assistant head coach, his son, Matt, and now into the ball game. Christian Soderholm into the ball game to take that spot. At the line is Lastly. He is an 83.6% free throw shooter. 2 will make it a 2 possession again with 14 and a half seconds to go. Lastly in the ball game has 6. And he misses the front end of it. So even if he makes this, it's still a 3-point, 1 possession ball game. Like I said, I've done 5 games. 2 of them so far have gone to overtime, so I don't know why I would be surprised if this one went to overtime. Second free throw. Back of the rim, no good, but he gets his own rebound, and he's fouled coming out. Shooter gets his own rebound. A no-no for the Eagles. Now he's going to get to go back and shoot 2 more. He just missed 2, and he's going to get to shoot 2 more. Lastly, rims out again, 0 for 3. He's an 83% free throw shooter. He's missed 3 in a row. Eagles need a rebound, need to get it down the floor and make a 3. Clarke takes a timeout. Coach Blaine going to discuss strategy, tells his players, hurry and get over here. We got to talk about how to keep them from shooting a 3. They could foul the Eagles in the backcourt and give them a 1-and-1. Or just guard everybody closely and let them take it to the basket if they want to. The Eagles do have 1 timeout left. 12.9 to go. Last 4 ball games that I have seen, the Eagles have played hard, and they've played hard in this one as well. Soderholm's going to inbound the ball. Robinson is going to come down to the free throw line extended to get it. Going to walk closer, 12.9. Blake's going to make him pick up the ball. And here comes Robinson on the run. Brown, 3-pointer in the air. Rims out, no good, tipped around. Branham trying to run it down. It's knocked in the air. 3 seconds to go. Lastly intercepts it, and there's your final score. Ends up 82-79. So there's your final score. 26 points from James Bird the second, and he had a 3 halfway down that would have tied the ball game up, but it is not to be for Clarke. They are led in scoring by Keith Johnson with 23, and 19 points for Lake, and 10 points for Marshall. 15 points for Central Methodist for Josh Robinson, and 15 points. Let me look and see real quick because I got it right here in front of me. 15 points for Rain Hartman. So that will do it. Eagles fall to 6-13 overall, 5-8 in the Heart. Clarke goes to 13-6 and 9-4 in the Heart. Saturday here at Puckett Fieldhouse. We'll be back for that. This is Charlie Brown wishing you a great evening. Thanks for tuning in on the Eagle Sports Network.